In what could be one of the most damning developments yet in the ongoing investigation into former President Donald Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election, Special Counsel Jack Smith has submitted a new 165-page filing revealing shocking, never-before-seen evidence. The filing comes amid mounting legal challenges facing Trump, who is now being scrutinized for his involvement in the January 6th insurrection and the alleged scheme to undermine the results of the presidential election. The most explosive revelation? A Trump campaign aide, who is also considered one of Trump's co-conspirators, is caught on record urging others to make them riot as the events of January 6th unfolded. This statement, alongside other incriminating pieces of evidence, is set to further unravel the former president's defense as he faces charges of election interference. With these new developments, the question looms: how will Trump and his legal team respond to the mounting evidence against them? This video delves into the latest revelations from Jack Smith's filing, the response from Trump's legal team, and what it all means for the former president as the nation edges closer to the 2024 election. The bombshell filing: new evidence emerges. This week, Special Counsel Jack Smith submitted a 165-page legal filing that is certain to send shockwaves through Trump's camp. The new filing provides detailed evidence of the former president's efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election, and at the center of it all is the chilling statement from one of Trump's campaign employees: "Make them riot." The identity of the campaign aide remains undisclosed in the document, but their role as a co-conspirator in Trump's efforts to undermine the peaceful transfer of power cannot be understated. The phrase, "make them riot," speaks volumes about the intent behind Trump's actions on that fateful day. The directive to incite violence, coming from within Trump's inner circle, paints a dark picture of the former president's strategy to disrupt the certification of the election. As January 6th descended into chaos, it became evident that the riot was not an unplanned event. It was part of a larger, more coordinated effort to overthrow the election results. The fight for immunity. One of the central elements of Trump's defense is his claim for presidential immunity. In the weeks leading up to this filing, Trump's legal team pushed for the immunity question to be addressed first, arguing that as a former president, Trump should be shielded from prosecution for actions taken while in office. Jack Smith's team, however, has been adamant that Trump is not above the law and that his actions on January 6th were not protected under the presidential immunity doctrine. To address this issue, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a critical ruling earlier this year. In July, the court declined to immediately address Trump's claim of immunity in the January 6th case, instead choosing to focus on a separate ballot question in Colorado, which had implications for Trump's ability to run for office again. This delay meant that the immunity question remained unresolved for months, and now, with Smith's filing, the case is moving forward with full force. Jack Smith's filing argues that Trump's actions on January 6th were not part of his official duties as president, but rather a deliberate attempt to subvert the democratic process. The evidence presented in the 180-page document is meant to prove that Trump is not immune from prosecution and that he should face trial for his actions. Jack Smith's strategic offensive. Smith's latest legal maneuver is not just about addressing the immunity question. It's about laying out the full extent of Trump's election interference. The 180-page filing, which includes 30 exhibits of incriminating evidence, is a calculated effort to show the depth of Trump's involvement in the January 6th insurrection. The sheer volume of evidence suggests that Smith is building a case designed to withstand any potential legal challenges from Trump's defense team. One of the most notable elements of the filing is the fact that much of the evidence has never been seen before. While the January 6th Congressional Committee uncovered significant information during its investigation, the special counsel's probe has gone even further. Smith's team has subpoenaed witnesses who were previously unreachable by Congress and they have gathered testimony from key figures in Trump's inner circle. The inclusion of new interviews and documents, including text messages, transcripts, and reports, means that the case against Trump is stronger than ever. In one particularly damning piece of evidence, the special counsel points to Trump's own words, revealing that the former president was fully aware of the violence unfolding at the Capitol and yet chose not to act to stop it. According to one witness, when Trump was informed that Vice President Mike Pence had been taken to a secure location, Trump's response was shockingly indifferent. So what? Trump's legal team scrambles for a delay. As the evidence mounts, Trump's legal team is doing everything in their power to delay the proceedings. In response to Smith's filing, Trump's attorneys have requested more time, arguing that they need access to additional documents to properly defend their client. However, Smith's filing makes it clear that Trump and his team have already had access to these documents for over a year. In fact, Smith accuses Trump's legal team of deliberately stalling the case in an effort to push the trial closer to the 2024 election. The filing states that Trump's attorneys have been in possession of key documents, including reports and transcripts, since August 2023, and that their claims of needing more time are simply a tactic to delay the trial. Despite Trump's efforts to slow the case, it is clear that Smith is determined to move forward. The special counsel's team is focused on ensuring that the American public has access to the truth before they cast their votes in 2024. This case is not just about holding Trump accountable. It's about preserving the integrity of the democratic process. The Supreme Court's role. The Supreme Court's decision to delay ruling on Trump's immunity claim has had significant consequences for the timing of the case. By prioritizing the Colorado ballot issue, the court effectively pushed the immunity question to the back burner, allowing Smith's team to gather more evidence and build a stronger case. Now, as the case progresses, Trump's lawyers are left scrambling to respond to the new evidence. They have until October 10th to file their brief on why they believe Trump should be granted immunity. However, the Supreme Court's delay has made it clear that Trump is not immune from facing legal consequences for his actions. This delay, ironically, has worked against Trump. Instead of resolving the immunity question earlier in the year, the case is now coming to a head just as the 2024 election season is heating up. For Trump, this could not have come at a worse time. Trump's own words come back to haunt him. Perhaps the most damaging aspect of the case against Trump is his own public statements. Throughout his rallies and speeches, Trump has repeatedly contradicted his defense by admitting that he lost the 2020 election. During a recent rally, Trump was quoted as saying, "We lost by a whisker," referring to the 2020 election results. This statement, like many others, will be used by Jack Smith to prove that Trump knew he had lost and yet continued to push the false narrative of election fraud. Trump's legal defense is expected to hinge on the argument that he genuinely believed the election was stolen and that his actions were in good faith. However, his own words undermine this defense. Smith's team will likely use Trump's public statements to show that he knew he had lost the election, but chose to incite the January 6th insurrection anyway. What's next in the case? As the case against Trump moves forward, there is still much to be revealed. The 180-page filing remains under seal for now, but it is only a matter of time before key pieces of evidence are made public. The judge presiding over the case, Judge Tanya Chutkan, will ultimately decide how much of the evidence is released to the public and what remains redacted. For Trump, the stakes couldn't be higher. The outcome of this case could have a profound impact on his political future, as well as his ability to run for office in 2024. As Jack Smith's team continues to build their case, it is clear that Trump's legal battles are far from over. The release of new evidence in Jack Smith's 165-page filing marks a significant turning point in the legal proceedings against Donald Trump. The revelation that a Trump campaign aide urged others to make them riot adds to the growing body of evidence that suggests a coordinated effort to overturn the 2020 election results. As the case progresses, Trump's legal team faces mounting pressure to defend their client against increasingly damning evidence. With the 2024 election looming, the timing of this case is critical. Trump's future in politics may well hinge on the outcome of this trial, and as more evidence comes to light, the former president's defense appears to be growing weaker by the day. Whether or not Trump is granted immunity, one thing is clear. The American public will soon have access to the truth about what really happened on January 6th, and that truth could have far-reaching consequences for the future of democracy in the United States.